Hello and welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today we're going to go over the newest card from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, Future Sight. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go over the reality chip. This mono blue legendary artifact, equipment, jellyfish, okay, aims to do what Future Sight does, with the convenience of being in the command zone. So, if it weren't for its goddamn reconfigure cost, it would be such a easy thing to achieve. Of course, the combo being a cost reducer, preferably a cost reducer for artifacts, and a Sensei's top. Allowing us to just draw through the deck and finding a win from there. I've seen other lists, and because of that goddamn reconfigure cost, the deck is spammed with a bunch of like 0-drop artifact creatures. But I built mine a little bit different. You're gonna find a creature to reconfigure onto. You should happen without a problem. And so, without actually bringing this deck into the real world, just solitaring a little bit, I think I solved the problem. I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's get straight into the deck. So we have the reality chip, and of course, you know how we do things on this channel. We have both arts. You gotta have all the arts. And we have a Sensei's divining top. Simply find this bad boy and you're off to the races. And so what I like are the creature artifact mana reducers. We don't have access to red or white, so we can't use the Pegasus from Caltime or the Mechanaut, right, from Neon Dynasty. But that's fine. That's fine. So we have a Ethereum Sculptor, Foundry Inspector, and this thick-ass owl, Joyra's Familiar. It's really nice that all three of these creatures are also artifacts, which will be very important to remember later on, things that we can tutor up for. Another mana reducer, we have a Cloud Key, and then probably the worst of them all, Helm of Awakening. Actually, that's a lie, right? The worst of them all would be like Semblance Anvil, right? Actually, I don't like Helm. Unless we have the combo ready to go, Helm would just sit in my hand. So I'm probably going to take the Helm out right here, right now, and add Tezzeret, the Seeker. Let's do that right now. So yeah, okay, very good. So Tezzeret, the Seeker. That changes things. That changes the order of how I present. But those are the cross reducers. Tezzeret is a Doi tutor, but nonetheless. So some of the combos we'll establish once we have the top, a mana reducer, and the goddamn reconfigured jellyfish onto a dude. We could then draw the deck, find an Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal, and then once we have that set up, we have our infinite draw, our infinite mana of blue, right? That'll be nice. Yes, that's another thing to consider Um, it's not a matter of just finding the cost reducer and the actually no, that's bullshit. Yeah, it is a matter of just finding the cost reducer and the top, because once we draw the deck, we could find the cheap mana rocks. But yeah, once you have infinite mana and infinite untaps, you can then infinitely cast a dramatic reversal, making that storm count a gazillion, and then something as simple as this Aether Flux from 1994 could win you the game. Or we could do mill out the opponents one by one. Of course, if they don't, if they have like a Titan in their deck for whatever reason, right? If they just unmillable, then you have the Aether Flux. We could do a Time Twister loop. Of course, Time Twister, draw the deck, use the Codex Shredder to put the Time Twister back in your hand, right? The Time Twister is a second ability, and over and over and over again. If you lose your Codex Shredder, we can still do the same Time Twister loop with a Narcissus Reversal. Just cast the Time Twister, hold priority, cast the Narcissus Reversal, bounce back the Time Twister to your hand, and you'll cast a copy of Time Twister. Very simple, right? And the same could be done with a Time Spiral. I know these are like pricey, really pricey wheels. You should just proxy it for yourself, or whatever, right? I love when my opponents proxy cards, because I'm just trying to get in a very, very sweaty game. I don't want people to be held back from their true power because of the cost of cards. I'm just a collector. At the end, I'll just cash out my collection. So this is why I don't mind buying physical, actual copies of cards. And then, of course, we have a Narcissus, a partner of Veils, Narcissus Bay of Veils. She acts like a soft silence. Not that that matters, right? Because I'll have my entire deck in my hand with infinite mana to back up. But you don't know anything could go wrong. So just stripping your opponent's hands before you combo off just makes life much easier. But you'll see as we get deeper into the deck, if all else fails, the deck just can become like a really gross control deck. And since we have a lot of islands in the deck, we're just going to do high tide things. There are all the usual suspects that go into a high tide deck are in this deck, like gosh, Frantic Search and the Time Spiral. So might as well just jam in the high tide and see what magic happens. Going to our counters package, we'll start with our soft counter. We have a misdirection. Narcissus Reversal also can act like as a soft counter. I didn't realize that the price of this misdirection has gotten crazy over the years. We have a Mental Misstep Spell Pierce. I gotta rebuy my OG Japanese Spell Pierce. How annoying. Flush the Storm. Miscast. Swan Song. Another thing you could do into a Time Twister loop. This is the last resort. Is by just you have your infinite mana, infinite untaps, infinite draw. So you can do your Time Twister loops, play a card, and then counter it with Swan Song. I guess you could just counter a dramatic reversal on the stack. Counter with Swan Song. Do your Time Twister loop over and over and over again until you have 1 billion birds on the board. And then you can just swing for a game the next turn. I would do this as the last resort. If somebody was unbillable, of course you mill out the other opponents first. And then you do your Plan Z, Swan Song, Time Twister loop. Dispel. Fierce Guardianship. Force of Negation. Believe it or not, I'm not like a huge fan of Force of Negation, so I never pimped it out. Whatever. Pact of Negation and Force of Will. Now, outside of the main combo for a reality chip, the deck is just filled with spot removal, draw cards, tutors. Right? Spot removal, draw cards, tutors. Because you want to dig as fast as you can. And your amount of blue, so without the access to like a black tutors, life becomes more annoying. But fortunately, blue and artifacts go together like peanut butter and jelly, so there's so many blue artifact tutors, as we'll see later. Our draw package, we have a Brainstorm, Gitaxian Probe, Preordain, and Ponder. You have Impulse, Frantic Search, Gush, and a Windfall. For our tutor package, we have Fabricate, a Word of Invention, Reshape, and a Transmute artifact. We have a Muddle the Mixture. I guess it could double as a counterspell. I forgot that it did that. A Mystical Tutor. Merchant Scroll. There are plenty blue instants in this deck that I would like to grab. Dramatic Reversal, High Tide, and Intuition. My Intuition lines, nothing crazy. Probably just a lot of redundancy, just like Intuition for like a mana reducer or some shit. Cyclonic Rift is another card I would absolutely Merchant Scroll for. So that leads us into our removal package. We have a Resculpt, Winds of Rebuke. Now, mind you, the blue spot removal is complete trash. So it's usually just to remove the one stacks piece before ready to combo off. Suspend, Submerge, and a Chain of Vapor. Then the rest of our creatures package. We have a Spell Seeker, Trinket Mage, no Trophy Mage or whatever the hell her name is, the 2 CMC one. I'm just really trying to find the top. I could transmute a Dizzy spell into here, but I have my transmute artifacts and stuff like that, so it's not that desperate. A Gilded Drake, Malevolent Hermit. You can hardcast your Hermit, and then if you have your Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal combo, you could just counter your own, one of your own Dramatic Scepters, not Dramatic Reversals, just to get this into the yard. Some control cards, right, as a plan, as a backup plan, or just something to do with like High Tide mana, right? You can cast a Wandering Archaic. I'm not even going to flip it. I don't even know what the backside does. I know it's terrible. and appropriately enough, a Jin Taxis Progress Tyrant. Um, if I could cast it, right, for 7 CMC, so maybe it comes up quicker under High Tide. Who knows? It's really not a big deal. It's a whatever card in this deck, but just to quickly swap into a control shell. Now I think about it. In my lands slot, I should have had a command beacon. I don't own a command beacon. No, I do. I do have one. I have a paper one somewhere. Because if there's like a Draneth Magistrate or some shit on the board, it's like until I find like bullshit spot removal, and we all know how blue spot removal is, I'm dead in the water. So a Commander's Beacon, if found early enough, could just get the reality chip to my hand. And then also part of that hard control shell, we will have the counterbalance. The reality chip, without being goddamned or reconfigured onto someone, is okay value, and it synergizes well with counterbalance. And then the top is in the deck, so it's like, what is it? Is that like Legacy Miracles decks, right? Countertop. And there's plenty of shuffle effects, right, to manipulate the top deck. Keep your fetch lands live when you have a counterbalance on board. And then the obligatory Ristic Study, Mystic, Remora. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. A Sapphire Medallion, because why not, right? Lotus Petal, a Jeweled Lotus, Arkham's Astrolabe. No particular reason, just it's a cantrip. Oh, it kind of like replaces a Candelabra of Taunos, right? How crazy is that? Oh, like a $1 card, not even a 50-cent card, replaces like a $1,400 Candelabra of Taunos. That's why I sold mine. If we're doing Dramatic Scepter loops, you can now filter your colors mana into colors, just like a Candelabra would do. Our Colored Rocks, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, no fear, we're in blue. Maybe I wouldn't rock a Fellwar Stone if I was in like in a mono white deck, just saying. Mox Amber, Chromox, Mox Opal, and a Mox Diamond. Grim Monolith, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, and a Mana Crypt. And then wrapping things up with our lands package. We have all 5 fetches. We have a Scalding Tarn, a Delta, Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest, and a Prismatic Vista. Islands, no covered islands only. Again, there's no particular. No. The Arkham's Astrolabe is a strong enough reason to run your snows over plain old basic lands. I think I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe. Well, let's find out together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12. Mystic Sanctuary, I guess, because it just synergizes fine with all those islands. I don't play mono blue enough to want to upgrade this to the retro frame. See the Synod? It's an artifact land that I could transmute away, right? I could just tap, pay for transmute artifact, and then send it away for like a Sensei's top or something. And Adventure's Fair to help tutor up that top. Buried Ruin to help get back a dead top that somehow made its way to the graveyard. Because it's really hard to get rid of top once top's on the field, right? Remember that. Don't be fucking crazy and try to spot remove an opponent's top. Academy Ruins, same reason. Try to get back dead tops. Urza Saga, tutor up a top. And then our utilities. No, those are all our utilities. Mana Abundance. We have an Ancient Tomb. City of Traders, which might be taken out for command bacon. Cephalid Coliseum. Remember this one. Atawada. And of course, very important, right? I've been using this for years. I know it feels like only recently, like maybe the last year or two, that everyone's starting to use it in their deck, no matter what colors you're in. The Gemstone Cavern. I don't give a shit if you're one color. If you can be a turn ahead of your opponents, more power to you. And there you have it. You have the reality chip in 2022. Very simple, straightforward deck. No need for Thassa's Oracle, Laboratory Maniac, or Blue Sun Zenith, right? There's no need for that. There's other ways to win. And maybe you need the Blue Sun Zenith if you insist on playing real paper cards. So you just find your the mana reducer, the top, then find your ISO Rev, use whatever rocks you have, and then you can start Blue Sun Zenithing everybody one by one. Use either the top or a cantrip to get the card back, and do it again and again. So yeah, I guess you could do a budget reality chip. I guess the top isn't super budget friendly for some people, but like that's the only way to run this deck. Anyway, thanks so much, and ta-ta. Oh, thanks for 100 subs, guys. We did it. I'm gonna get that plaque soon. But yeah, big moves coming soon. Take it easy.